Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to start a new series named Microsoft Azure. So in this series, we are going to learn from the scratch that what is Microsoft Azure, what are the cloud computing, and what the services are being offered by the Azure. So these type of topics we are going to learn. And starting from today, I will give you a brief introduction about Microsoft Azure cloud computing and the different services which Azure is providing to us. And afterward, in upcoming videos, I will let you know that how we can register with Azure and how the services can be utilized. I will go through the major services, major categories using the Azure. So as far as the today views is concerned, let's go to the topic which we are going to cover today itself. So the topics would be what is a cloud computing, what is the Microsoft Azure, and what are the various Azure services, and how does Azure work. So these would be the topics which we are going to cover today itself. So after completing all these topics, definitely there would be so many questions in question in the beginner's mind that why we use Azure, because we have so many other services as well. So at the end of this these topics, I have put some questions which are commonly being asked by the people, or they can be come into their mind. So let's start with what is cloud computing. For the cloud computing, as far as everyone knows that there are so much hype nowadays that the cloud computing is leading in nowadays. So the question comes in mind that actually what the cloud computing is. So, cloud computing applications and the platforms are rapidly growing across all those industries, serving as a IT infrastructures that drives a new digital business. So, cloud computing, the basic definition, which would be the everything which is put over the internet. We don't need to have any physical server. We don't have to manage anything by our own self. So, whatever the things we are needed, whether it is a server, a virtual machine, storage needed, any application need to be hosted, anything whichever we wanted, that need to be available over the internet, and we don't need to manage it by our own self. So that would be a very basic, I would say, a definition of cloud computing. But I will go through the more deeper into it and will give you all the inside of what the cloud computing is. So as far as the bookish knowledge is concerned, these platforms and applications have revolutionized the way in which the business functions and have made the process easier. Few of the services are in the top services, I would say, the Amazon Web Service, AWS, and it is, I would say, a older one. I mean, we can say it was a pioneer for the cloud computing, but afterwards, Google also providing some computing services, and also the Microsoft Azure, which is now have become a more, I would say, well known to everyone that Azure services are being used as a cloud computing service. So these two are the giants which are known as the client computing providers. So that is a very basic, I would say, the overview of what is a cloud computing is. Now, uh, proceeding with that overview, the cloud computing is a technology that provides the access to the various computing resources over the internet. That is what I told you, that so many services which are needed over the internet, they are being available for everyone to use. That is what the cloud computing is. Basically, the cloud service provide a massive data centers that contain the hundred of the servers, storage systems, and the components that are crucial for many kinds of organizations. You can see, if for example we wanted to host an application, definitely we have to have the hosting available. In some of the cases, we also need dedicated servers. In other words, if we wanted to locally use anything, definitely on premise, I would say, we have to have some server available. A physical server need to be purchased purchased. We need to get internet connection for that. We need to have a technical person who need to go through that or need to configure that, and also the maintenance of that server need to be there. There might be the chances that we have to put some securities because we are having our own server. So these type of things we have to maintain by our own self. But as far as the cloud computing itself is concerned, they are providing each and everything to you. I mean, they have a dedicated servers available, not only in your region, I mean, all over the globe. They have the servers, they have the data storage center, they have a zero latency, I mean, very minute latency, and the history is being maintained over there. There is no downtime for your application. So these type of things are they are maintaining with their servers over the globe. And the cloud computing can be used for the various purposes. I mean, why we use the cloud computing? We can use for the machine language learning. We can have a data analysis. We need to have storage and the backup, streaming of the media content, and so much more. We have so many services which can be used or which can be utilized using the cloud computing. So I will go through all those categories in my later videos, in which I will elaborate all those categories which are being used, where we can store the data. If we wanted to store only the images, we wanted to store the videos over there, we can do it. We can have so many, for example, databases needed for multiple purposes. We need the reporting over that. We need to have some insights of what the data is coming, what the data is going on. So many things can be done, and they are available as a ready-made, I would say. We just need to configure them, and everything would be ready. So that is what the cloud computing is. Now the question comes: why is cloud computing important? I mean, definitely, why we need to purchase services over the cloud if we have local cheaper services available. That can be the question which can come into the mind. So let's discuss why we need the cloud computing. Let's assume that you have an idea for revolutionized application and applications that can be provided great experience and can become the highly profitable. For example, you have a business and you want your portal to be live over the internet. Definitely you can choose any local services. But definitely, see, with the passage of time, or for example, that local or cheaper services, they are down. I mean, for example, for 2 hours, 1 hour, 3 hours, maybe for a week, then definitely your business would not grow in that speed that you are expecting, because you are giving the services to your client, for example, and the client or your user is experiencing the latency, or they could not reach to your application in timely manner wherever they need it. Definitely your business would be down. So on the other hand, if you put your application in the cloud computing, they have a zero latency. They have their backups available. If some of these servers is going to be crashed, for example, they have backup service. They have disaster management system over there, so there would be no latency. So your user experience would be much higher as compared to the local services. For an application to become successful, you need to release it on the internet for the people to find it, use it, and spread the word about its advantage. To do so, you will need a various components. Like you need to purchase a server, you need to have the storage devices. I mean, definitely there should be a storage devices attached to your server. You need a developer to work over there. A dedicated network needed for that application to work on, and the application security, much important aspect, I would say, nowadays, because the hackers, they are targeting, or they are targeting the easy targets, because they can hack your application. But as far as the cloud computing is concerned, they have their own security mechanism which cannot be easily breached. Definitely they have so many layers or so many things to make it secure to your application. So to ensure that your solution work and the way it is intended to. So that is why the cloud computing is important. Then comes the question, the topic on which we are discussing today is, what is the Microsoft Azure? So we have AWS available, as I mentioned. We have Google available for cloud services. But why Azure? That is what we wanted to discuss. So Azure is a cloud computing platform and an online portal that allow you to access and manage the cloud services and the resources provided by the Microsoft. So I will walk you through the portal itself, but first I wanted to highlight that what are the ground realities, what are the actual booking knowledge about the computing and Azure. So it is a cloud computing platform that provides so many services online, which can be purchased. There are so many other mechanisms to purchase it. It can be free in some of the cases. It can be a use based on some of the cases. It can be there are so many other plans which Azure is providing to get those services. To get the access to these resources and the services, all you need to have an active internet connection and the ability to connect to the Azure portal. That's it. Next thing is you will go to that service, you will purchase that service, you will test that service. The testing mechanism are also available over there. Azure support multiple programming languages. For example, if you wanted to deploy an PHP application there, you can do that. We can have the Java, we can have Node.js application, C Sharp application, and so many other languages also being supported. So that is what the Microsoft Azure gives. Now, what are the various Azure services and how does Azure work? So, as far as Azure popularity is concerned, it has 200 services, and that is bifurcated or divided into the 18 main categories. These categories including the computing, network, storage, IoT, migrations, mobile analytics, containers, artificial intelligence. AI is a major, I would say, a category which is being available in Azure, and the other machine learning, integration management tools. Developers tools are also available. Securities, databases, DevOps to manage your all those the sprints or the tasks or the user stories. The DevOps is also available where we can integrate our GitHub to that DevOps so that the code can be stored over there in the DevOps, and so many other planning aspects are also there. Media identity and the web services. These are the main, I would say, common categories. But I will walk you through all those categories one by one. Let's take a look some of the major Azure services by the category. So few categories which are the major I have given. I will give you the introduction in this video. But as far as the actual categories are concerned, I have a separate I would say session of that as well. So I will walk you through. Now, the first is compute services. These services enable you to create the virtual machine in the Windows, Linux, or the other configuration in a second. So, if you want a virtual machine to work on, that can be a Window or Linux or the other operating system. So, what you have to do is you just need to go to that compute service. You need to purchase. Before purchasing, you need to give the all those details: what type of virtual machine you need, what should be the RAM, what should be the storage, and what other resources would be there. You just need to I would say a wizard would be there, and you need to select them, and then that's it. In minute or so, I mean not a minute, so I mean maximum in 3 to 4 minutes or 5 minutes, you will get your, depending upon what resources you are using. So you will get your virtual machine available up and running. This service lets you create the scalable application with the cloud. Microservices an application that contains the other bundle, smaller applications. So if that sort of application you have in which microservices are being deployed, so definitely we cannot purchase a service for hosting for all those services. So we will purchase a virtual machine. We will host all those microservices over there, and we can utilize them. So this is what the microservice compute services is there. Networking, as the name suggests, so networking, anything which is related to the network that is being categorized. So Azure CDN is for delivering the content to the user. The CDN services use a network of the server placed strategically around the globe. So I mean we have Azure services available over the globe, I would say. So definitely, if you are in Asia, definitely there will be Asia server. If you are in Europe, there will be a separate set of servers available over there, and also in the Middle East, and so many other areas. So definitely there is a typical, I would say, a network over there in which all those servers are being linked together to make that happen, that they are being networked over there, and they are over the globe, so that the user can access the data as soon as as soon as possible. This service let you to connect you on-premise network. When, for example, you have your server available, the physical server available at your office, and those servers need to be connected with the Azure service, for example. So they need to be connected in a way that these services are being utilized. Those services are known as a networking services. So this service let you connect your on-premise network to the Microsoft Cloud or the other services that you want through the private connection. So that category is networking. And the storage, as the name suggests, so storage means if you wanted to place something over the cloud, and that need to be accessed over the internet, can be downloaded, can be edited, or can be stored. So the storage services, they are being used in the Azure as a service. So this service allow you to choose from the either HDD or SSD. It's your choice as your storage option along with your virtual machine. This service is optimized to store a massive amount of unstructured data, including the text and even the binary data. You can put the data over there, where what type of data you wanted, that can be stored over there. And there are so many other options, that there can be a chances that you are storing a data which is not commonly being used. So Azure provided the facility that if your data wanted to be stored for a longer time and it is not being used, then it is marked as as a cold data. For example, I will walk you through that what that term is. So it will store in the way that it is not commonly being used, and that has a cheaper I would say rate as compared to the data which is frequently being used. So there are so many other options as well. So this is a managed file storage service that can be accessed via the industry SMB protocol. So there are so many other protocols as well. So for storage, we are using the SMB protocol, and we can access wherever we wanted all those stored files. So this is the storage category. Then comes, why use Azure? So I walk you through the computing services. I walk you through what Azure is doing, what are the main categories. Then the question is, why we use Azure? I mean, there are so many other services as well. As I mentioned, AWS is their cloud. Then why we use Azure? So the first part is application development. So you can create any web application in the Azure. There is a big advantage that any application you wanted, we can create over there. Virtual machine, you can create a virtual machine in any of the configuration you want with the help of Azure. So many templates available there, predefined templates, where you can have the configuration already available. You just need to click on that template and choose any customization if you wanted, and the rest of the things will be taken care by the Azure. Integration and sync features of Azure lets you integrate and sync the virtual devices and the directories. So that is also a big advantage. So, and top of that, definitely the big advantage is it is cheaper than the other services, other cloud computing services, I would say, because it provides you so many plans wherever we wanted to go as of use. For example, if we wanted to use something and that is not being frequently being used, so we can choose the plan that whenever I will use it will be charged, rather than upfront the service is charging me whether I'm using or not. I mean, there are so many other things which have the advantage over Azure has advantage over the other computing services. They mentioned in the start of this video that there would be so many questions in your mind, because so far what we have done is we go through the computing, we go through the Azure itself, we go through why Azure is needed. Then the other questions can also be come into mind before we jump into the actual session in sense the working sessions. I wanted to clarify a few of the questions or the doubts in your mind. So the first thing, as I already elaborated, what the Microsoft Azure is, formerly known as Microsoft Azure, is a public cloud computing platform that provides a range of cloud services for the computing, storing, and the networking. Depending on your requirement, you can manage and store the data. That is the first question which can come into your mind that already I have cleared. What are the benefits of using the Microsoft Azure? So as I mentioned, Microsoft Azure is used for its enhanced flexibility, integrated delivery pipelines, security, disaster recovery. As I mentioned, there can be chances that, for example, one of your server got crashed. Then what would happen? Is your application going to be down for some time? No, you are managing it itself. They have disaster recovery over there without any latency, and the speed of the services. The much important, the performance of any application which are being used by a user. If it is taking time, definitely user will move to the other relevant service, or the other portal, I would say. So the performance is much important aspect that we needed. So Azure is providing the things, I mean, in a good speed, I would say. The platform is across cost efficient and is a majorly used by the various IT companies for its improved infrastructure. So as I mentioned, cost efficient mean, we can use the services with our plan, with our, I would say, whatever the our pocket allow us to use, we can use the services accordingly. It has a much cheaper plans as well. I mean, depends upon what type of things you, or what type of services you wanted to use, but it is a cost efficient as well. Then what are the cons of the using there? So Microsoft Azure can be extremely in some cases it is not fully, I would say, in some of the cases for the large organization, because it can be extremely complicated because we need to manage the services very smartly. For example, if we have a virtual machine, that virtual machine is being used in only in the working hours, in the business hour, I would say, starting from 5 starting from 9 or 8 a.m. and ending at 5 p.m. Then what is the use of using, I mean, the visual, the sorry, the virtual machine is being operated in the midnight as well without anything we are using. So definitely the virtual machine is, if it would be on, then it is being charged by the Azure. So services need to be used smartly. For example, if one of the resources we have purchased, but it has to be used in some of the cases, in most of the cases it need not to be used, and we can choose it smartly. We can have our budget accordingly. So if we have a huge organization and we wanted to administrate all those services and monitor them, then we need to have use them very smartly. Otherwise it can be complicated for you. Azure is so versatile that anyone can leverage extensive integration capabilities with the wide range of the application, services, and tools. So these are also a major con of the Azure. That can also come into your mind, that if you're using the Azure, what are the cons? Then how does Azure actually it works? So Azure is a huge collection of networking, as I mentioned. Globally, so many data centers are there, so many servers are there. They are being linked together, or they are being segregated according to the zones, or according to whatever the area we are using. It is in Middle East, it is in Europe, it is in Singapore, it is in other areas. So it is being segregated accordingly. And the servers that can be the complex set of the application widely distributed in other organizations. These applications make the configuration and the operation of the virtualized software and hardware work in the sync on services. So this is how the Azure actually work is. So many server to data centers are there, and they're being linked together, and whatever the services are being used in which of the area, it is accordingly being triggered, or picked from the appropriate server accordingly. Why to use Azure, that already we discussed, but I will go through it again so that it should be finalized. For a reliable, consistent, and easy operable platform, Azure is a most suitable choice. It provides a wide range of hybrid connections, including the caching, virtual private networks. Mean that should be a hybrid, mean that can be on premise and the cloud and linking together, and then the content delivery networks and the express route connections to improve the performance and the usability. So this is why we need the Azure. And why do we need Azure? Azure can be used to solve the today's challenge and to build a new future with realistic solutions to problem in your life, as I mentioned in throughout in this video, that why we need Azure, because it is providing so many services in a rapid speed, with whatever we wanted to scale it, it can be scaled up and down. I mean, for example, if you're using a service and that, for example, your portal is getting too much traffic, for example, then we have option to scale it up, and it can automatically be configured that if up to this traffic, I can use the resources. For example, some of the resources are being utilized according to the traffic. So I would say if my traffic is 1 to 100, for example, then these resources need to be used. And if it is exceeding from 100 to 500 user per day, then we need to add some more resources, I would say. So that is what scaling is there. So that is what Azure is providing with the preferred tools and the frameworks of the Azure build, manage, and run the application across the multiple clouds at the edge or on premise, whatever we needed. Now, the final word and the conclusion is, with more than 200 services and numerous benefits, Microsoft Azure is undoubtedly the fastest growing cloud computing platforms that are adopted by the business, because it provides each and every, I would say, service whichever you name it has. Because 200 services are more than enough services. So whatever we name it, it has all those services. In fact, the Microsoft Azure's total revenue is expected to surpass the 19 billion by 2023 or 2020, end of 2024. This growth is the implementation of Azure by the business is creating various opportunity for professional well versed in this technology. So the final wording is, Azure is a fastest growing computing services, and it provides all those services which we name it at the cost whichever we need it. So all the predefined templates for costing is also fair. So that's all, dear. Whatever the cloud computing is, we have covered. What the Azure is doing, we have covered. So in the next video, I will walk you through the portal as well as all those categories. Thank you so much. Bye.